Why, hello there. I played the Elden Ring network test last weekend, and yeah, it was filled with fun combat, great enemy designs, and an awesome world. But also something else that is very near and dear to me. Item descriptions. 182 to be exact. And how do I know that? Because I read and ranked all of them. From Software item descriptions are not only important to better understand the story and world of their games, but also to be rad and weird. And the item descriptions in the network test did all of the above in spades. In fact, they were so enticing that I'm stopping myself from speculating too much about the game before release because I think Elden Ring will go places. So what I have done instead is rank them all in Miyazaki's preferred format, E tier to S tier, and I will share my top 5 S tier item descriptions as well as a few special mentions. Let's get into it. So at E tier, you have item descriptions that aren't really adding any flavor to the item or the world, just describing what it does. Which, it's still doing its job, but it's not giving me anything to work with. There were 25 of these, and we can move on from them. D tier item descriptions add a small bit of spice to them, but they don't have me reaching for the milk. These are mostly somewhat generic but well written descriptions, and there were 50 of them. However, there are 2 item descriptions I'd like to mention in particular. First, I'd like to give a shout out to Arrow, which says, "Arrows used with small and long bows, unremarkable in any way, shape, or form." I can't help but think about the author behind the description sometimes, and this one conjures an image of Miyazaki or one of his writers at like 4:59 on a Friday, trying to come up with a way to describe an arrow for like the 6th time, and they just quickly pen that last line, grab their coat, and never look at the item again. My next item I'd like to mention is the Rickety Shield, which gets my award for most shade thrown at the item it's describing. The Rickety Shield item description says, a creaky old wooden shield, circular in shape, roughly reinforced with vines or some such. To be blunt, there are far better shields available. You would do well to leave this one in the garbage where it belongs. Damn, roasted. Next we have C tier item descriptions. These descriptions are starting to get kinda juicy and usually help add flavor to the world. There were 25 C tier descriptions, and I have a special award for 2 of them. First, we have the Ash of War Barricade Shield item description. A skill made famous by Sir Neidhart. In the network test, we got this off a boss who does not wield a shield and who is not named Neidhart, earning this item the most obviously not found here in the full release award. Our second special mention is for the Roa Raisin, which gets the cutest description award. Roa fruit is mildly poisonous and toxic to humans, but Torrent seems to have a taste for it. I just think it's cute that Torrent likes to snack on little toxic raisins. Now we are at the B tier item descriptions. These are solid descriptions that help flavor the world and provide context. I would argue that it is this tier that lays the groundwork for the A and S tier descriptions and help to understand the general shape of the world. These are the workhorses of the item description world. As such, there are no special mentions here, but all 32 are putting in the work. You can trust me on that. Okay, now we are getting spicy in the A tier item descriptions. This is where you have items that not only give information about the world, but some spicy and evocative flavor. This is where you find phrases like wolves are the shadows of the Empyrean, and you get name drops like Crucible Knights, Godfrey, and the Lunar Queen. All 41 of these are tasty morsels, but there is one I would like to bestow the niche award of most likely to excite Warhammer nerds. And it goes to the Blood Rose, which reads, blood slick roses that bloom in festering blood. Material used for crafting items. Particularly beloved by those who serve the Lord of Blood. Glory to his inevitable reign. Can I get a blood for the blood god in chat? And now we are left with 9 exquisite S-tier item descriptions from the Elden Ring network test, all of which receive special mentions and or are part of the top 5. First, we have an S-tier special mention. The Corollos mask says, a mask of heavy stone resembling the wise Corollos, a forefather of the Raya Lucarian resurgence. Magic scholars wear this mask to show the lineage of their glintstone study, as well as their vows of virtue and austerity. An eye for the world and a keen mind. First and foremost, a sorcerer must surrender both to their craft. Now, not only is this well written, but it has a specific phrase, the Raya Lucarian resurgence. From other items from the network test, we heard about Raya Lucaria. It's a wizard academy, if you will, and I won't get much into it here, but when you hear resurgence, it adds that extra, what's going on? I heard about Raya Lucaria, but what's this resurgence about? And then this whole thing about vows of virtue and austerity, and about having a keen mind, and then you realize this is all for an item for a mascot helmet, a giant stone Burger King ass looking helmet, and it's great. Next, we have the item that wins the award for someone really wrote this, and this award goes to Gold Tinged Excrement. The description says, someone's excrement, it has a gold tinge, material used for crafting items, often hidden in the woods and thickets. Gold tinged excrement is a highly stable substance. It doesn't dry out, nor does it lose its customary warmth or scent. For better or for worse, it remains as it is. Now, this description might not reveal earth-shattering information, but it really changes how I see the world of Elden Ring. People are taking golden dumps. Someone was tasked with explaining this item, and boy, they answered the call. And the whole thing just gets even funnier when you remember that George R.R. Martin is involved and you're thinking of Tywin Lannister, but there's people literally shitting gold in the lands between. Next, we have the Big Mood Award, which goes to the Flame of Frenzy, which says, an incantation from the maddening 3 fingers causes the yellow Flame of Frenzy to burst forth from the caster's eyes. This incantation can drive human foes mad, and charging up makes it more powerful. Those whose eyes are afflicted with the Flame of Frenzy are racked with maddening pain and unstoppable tears. And if you can't relate to this item description on a deep, emotional level, you and I have different lives. And now we have the award for the most what the f*** description. And the award goes to the Land Octopus Ovary, which says, puffy, milky white ovary of a land octopus. Material used for crafting items. Land octopuses eat humans in order to bear young, and theirs is the blood that runs through these ovaries. What the f***? These cool enemy designs, these land octopuses flopping around, are eating people to make babies. What the f***? And now for the top 5 Elden Ring network test item descriptions in no particular order. First, we have the Beast Claw, an incantation bestowed upon those who call the Deathroot by Garank, the Beast Clergyman. Creates beast claws that tear apart the land. This incantation increases in power when charged up. Long ago, Garank was a beast of such terrifying ferocity that his former name meant Death of the Demigods. And I think it is easy to see why this is an S tier item description. What is the Deathroot? Why are we calling it? Who's Garank, the Beast Clergyman? Why is that such a great name? And why is he called Death of the Demigods? Like, there's so much going on here. It's such a good hook to get me more interested in the world and to find out what is going on with all of this. Next we have Meteorite, a glintstone sorcery that draws on gravitational force, used by a great white king with stone skin. Calls small meteorites down from the sky. The meteor shower continues for as long as the sorcery is in effect. It is said that in the Eternal City, now lost in ruin underground, meteorites held the same import as stars. You have a great white king with stone skin, meteorites fallen from the sky, an eternal city which is now ruined underground, and you got all this space wankery. Like, there's so much here that is evocative and interesting, and I just want to know more about the world. It tells you about the world, but it makes you wonder about it so much more. And next we have Ruin Fragment. Stone fragment found near places where ruins have fallen from the sky. Can be used for crafting or simply for throwing at enemies. These shards of stone are believed to have once been part of a temple in the sky. They glow with a faint light from within. Now this is a common item found everywhere. It's these little stones on top of all these ruins. But what it does is it changes how you view the whole world. These ruins aren't just ruined buildings that were once sitting here and now fell apart. These ruins fell out of the sky from some sky temple. And that is just doing a lot of work right there. It really, the moment I read that, I was like, what is this game about and where are we going to go? Are we going to go to space? Is there a temple in the sky on top of the Erd tree? I don't know, but I want to find out. Let's go. And next we have Spirit Jellyfish Ashes. Spirit Ashes summons a spirit jellyfish, floating phantom that illuminates its surroundings, seemingly the lingering spirit of a young girl on an eternal search for her sister, with whom she'd promised to see the stars. Now the Spirit Jellyfish Ashes also get my award for the best short story. This tells a really interesting, little story. It's a really interesting story hook, and it may not be as earth-shattering as some of these other ones, but it's just really cool. These little jellyfish floating around are apparently the spirits of a young girl or young girls on an eternal search for her sister. Who's her sister? What do they mean, see the stars? Like, what is happening? And last but not least, we have the telescope item description. Astrology tool used by members of the Carrion royal family, part of a larger instrument, removed and stolen away. Allows the viewer to better see faraway things. During the age of the Erd tree, Carrion astrology withered on the vine. The fate once writ in the night skies had been fettered by the Golden Order. And I just love all the little things this item description is doing. It's talking about space once again with astrology and the Carrion royal family, and they're looking towards the stars, and there was this fate written in the night skies, but they're not worried about it anymore because of the Golden Order. And it talks about the age of the Erd tree. When was this? What is the age now? What's going on? It's just interesting and evocative, and it really spells out what seems like it's going to be a very tragic story about the Carrion family, and how they thought that the Golden Order had somehow taken care of some fate that was going to befall them, but I assume with the shattering that came to fruition anyways, and bad news bears for everyone. And there you have it, all of the item descriptions from the Elden Ring network test ranked. This is of course my own opinions, but if you would like to contribute your own opinions in the comments, go ahead, tell me about some other things that you thought were really interesting or cool. I think these item descriptions are really awesome, and it has me super excited for the game, and also really hard to get through the next few months, not only because I'm excited for the game, but because I think we know a lot now. I know maybe too much, I don't know. I know a lot, and I just want to get through the next few months and not see more, because from everything I just talked about, there's so many interesting things happening. beastmen, space stuff, a sky temple, an underground city, lots of immortality stuff, a blood god. There's so much happening, and I can't wait to find out what it's all about in the full release of Elden Ring. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like. That would very much help the algorithm and for more people to see it. And if you would like to keep up with Elden Ring information, and especially after release, get all into the lore and read more item descriptions, consider following my channel, The Lore Hunter. I would very much appreciate it. Thank you for watching.